Welcome back to another semester of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Jonathan Domow. I'm joined by Frank Gargione, our forecaster. And Frank, it's been a minute since we've seen some snow on the ground here at State College.
Yes, it has been a minute, but we will be seeing those chances for snow increase as we head into the weekend with a couple systems that we'll be tracking across Pennsylvania. More on that in my forecast.
Well, can't wait to hear about that, but for right now, let's get into some nature in the news.
Wildfires in the Australian state of Victoria have killed at least one person, destroying dozens of homes and burning nearly 900,000 acres since last week, said authorities on Sunday. The fires were sparked by a heat wave across much of the country that brought record-breaking temperatures and created the worst fire conditions since 2019 and 2020. Over 30 wildfires were burning across Victoria on Sunday, with some near the northeast border with the state of New South Wales. One of Victoria's largest wildfires on Sunday was burning near Longwood, a town of fewer than 300 people that is 70 miles northeast of Melbourne, a city of about 5 million. The fire has a perimeter of about 250 miles and has destroyed at least 150 structures, according to Victoria's Emergency Management Commissioner. Another destructive fire razed buildings in the town of Harcourt, where the authorities say that 47 homes and 3 businesses were lost. 3 firefighters were injured as well.
AI's convenience and cost-cutting potential have made it increasingly common in the workplace. But over-reliance on artificial intelligence can lead to misleading or incorrect information that can damage reputations and public trust. That trust is vital for national safety agencies like the National Weather Service. If people stop trusting their local weather office, they may ignore warnings during real-time emergencies, putting themselves at risk. On January 3rd, the National Weather Service office in Missoula, Montana, posted a forecast graphic that was including fabricated town names such as Wadabod, Orange, Otild in Idaho, towns that don't even exist. While this forecast was not for an extreme event, errors like this damage the reputation of the National Weather Service. If the public begins to see AI-generated hallucinations from an official weather source, they will not take future forecasts seriously. Without proper oversight of AI usage, further mistakes will occur and further undermine the National Weather Service's authority.
Following winter storms that lashed California with rain and snow in recent weeks, the state is completely free of drought for the first time in 25 years. The last time California had no regions considered abnormally dry or in drought conditions was December of 2000. Over the course of about a week beginning on December 20th, parts of Northern California received up to 7 inches of precipitation, while up to 4 inches fell in southern parts of the state. Then, as New Year's Day approached, the state was hit once more with several rounds of heavy rain and flooding. Together, the two events pushed California's 17 major reservoirs to 129% of their average levels. The wet winter has boosted California's snowpack, which is crucial to its water supply, though the snowpack is still lower than average. The California Department of Water Resources said at the end of December that readings from 130 monitoring stations throughout the Sierra Nevada indicated a statewide snow water equivalent of 6.5 inches, which is 71% of the average for this time of year. The Sierra Nevada snowpack usually supplies around 30% of California's yearly water needs.
Record snowfall in Juneau, Alaska has buried the city under historic amounts of snow, nearly 7 feet in total in December, and the effects are proving both dramatic and costly. Since late December, restless snow driven by a powerful atmospheric river has overwhelmed Juneau. The weight of the heavy, wet snow has caused 8 boats in local harbors to sink and leaving other vessels listing, according to the city's harbor master. The extreme snowfall has also stressed urban infrastructure, causing roofs to collapse and schools and businesses to close. The mayhem has left locals and crews scrambling to clear streets and rooftops before conditions worsen. As temperatures climb, rain on top of the deep snowpack could increase flood risk and further burden storm drains clogged with ice and snow. For residents, the focus is now on recovery, digging out, preventing further damage, and preparing what comes next as winter continues.
We mentioned in the intro how State College has not seen a lot of snow as of recent. Will that change? Let's take a look at my central Pennsylvania forecast starting on Friday. We have a low pressure system just sitting to the north of Wisconsin with the occluded front draping through parts of Minnesota and crossing over into Lake Michigan. This system will bring snowfall to pretty much all of the lower Great Lakes and upper Great Lakes region here as we head into the day on Friday. Just barely missing us here on State College, and we do have some snowfall up in New England as well, with 2 surface troughs lingering from an earlier system in Canada as well, bringing snowfall to parts of northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and Maine. Now, as we transition here into Saturday, this is when State College will see most of its accumulating snowfall, if any. We've got a dual low pressure system right in that Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula, Michigan area with 2 cold fronts. The first one crossing through State College, bringing some snow showers here around midday on Saturday. And then as we head into Saturday night, this trailing cold front will make its way through with some cold conditions. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm talking about temperatures in the teens and possibly single digits. But the first cold front here, like I mentioned, through the afternoon, bringing a quick shot of snow. And then as we head on later into the night as well, some snow from the secondary cold front. Let's take a look as we head into Sunday here. Those cold conditions remain in place, and like I mentioned, those temperatures failing to get out of the 20s as a high here on Saturday. The system that we saw on Saturday will make its way off to the east into the Atlantic Ocean, bringing some snowfall to parts of the East Coast, including New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia, and parts of the Mid-Atlantic and New England region. And as we take a look back towards our north and towards our west, snow once again in the forecast for places such as Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and parts of Illinois. As we take a look at our weekend forecast here, on Friday, 30 degrees as our high temperature with a chance of snow showers. And as we head into the night on Friday night, a low temperature of 24 degrees and mostly cloudy conditions. Now, as we take a look at Saturday, this is the main day here, 36 degrees. So snow showers likely off and on as we head throughout the day as that cold front sweeps across the state. And then here comes the cold as we head into Saturday night, 16 degrees and mostly cloudy. Back down into the teens. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen temperatures this low in State College. And like I mentioned, failing to get out of the 20s here on Sunday, 22 degrees, partly sunny conditions. And then as we head into Sunday night, those low temperatures getting into the single digits. Coming up next is Jonathan Domow with a feature on the history of road salt.
In 1938, road crews began experimenting with using sodium chloride for the purpose of de-icing roads, the first documented case of road salt being used in the United States. That one experiment would quietly change winter travel forever, especially here in Pennsylvania, where the expectation were that roads are clear and drivable in the wintertime. Before the 1920s, winter roads weren't expected to be clear. Snow-packed streets were normal, especially when horses and sleighs still dominated travel. That mindset began to shift around 1920 when modern snowplows appeared in Pennsylvania cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, just as cars became the primary way to get around. At first, Pennsylvania relied on plowing and sand for traction, but as traffic increased and highways expanded through the mid-20th century, salt emerged as a better solution. Unlike sand, salt didn't just improve grip, it melted ice, helping roads return to bare pavement faster. Pennsylvania's geography plays a major role in how much salt the state needs. The Commonwealth sits directly in the path of winter storms moving out of the Midwest and along the East Coast. Add in elevation changes along the Appalachian Mountains, with colder air in the north and west, plus a frequent freeze-thaw cycle, icy roads have become a constant challenge. Today, road salt is central to PennDOT's winter operations. In a typical winter, Pennsylvania uses more than 800 tons of salt on state roads. Most of that salt isn't mined here. It's shipped in from major producers in Ohio, New York, Massachusetts, and Illinois, and then stored in salt domes across the state. Salt works by lowering the freezing point of water, making it harder for ice to form and easier for snow to melt. But it has its limits. Traditional road salt has become much less effective once temperatures fall below 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is why timing is everything. Modern winter maintenance isn't just about spreading rock salt. PennDOT now relies heavily on salt brine, a liquid solution sprayed before snow begins falling. The state operates 65 brine-making facilities, and during the 2021-2022 winter, crews used over 12 million gallons of brine to prevent ice from bonding to the pavement. For decades, road crews have focused on de-icing, reacting after snow and ice had already formed. Today, PennDOT prioritizes anti-icing, treating roads ahead of storms. The result? Faster clearing, fewer crashes, and in many cases, less salt used overall. Salt use isn't a one-size-fits-all. Busy interstates receive more treatment while rural roads use less salt, since salt works best when traffic helps activate it. The goal is always balance: road safety, cost, and environmental impact. Winter road decisions today are driven by data, not just what the crew sees out the windshield. PennDOT uses weather forecasts, pavement temperature, and traffic data to decide when and how much salt to apply. Road surface temperature matters more than air temperature, and crews constantly adjust strategies as conditions change, especially during long, multi-hour winter storms. From a single experiment in 1938 to millions of tons spread each year, road salt has changed the way Pennsylvanians travel through the winter. For Whether or Not, I'm student meteorologist Jonathan Domow.
Temperatures will remain well below average as we head into next week, but first let's take a look at our weekend recap. Starting here on Friday, high temperature of 30 degrees with a chance of snow showers as we head into Friday night, 25 degrees as our low temperature. As we head into Saturday, that is the day of weather across the northeast and mid-Atlantic regions as those dual cold fronts, dual low pressure systems bring some wintry weather into State College. 36 degrees is our high with a low temperature of 16 degrees once those cold fronts pass through, bringing some snow showers throughout the day on Saturday and into Saturday night. And once those systems clear out and we head into Sunday, 22 degrees as our high. Those cold conditions remain in place steadily throughout early next week. We'll touch on that in just a second with our low temperatures down at 12 and conditions sitting at partly sunny. As we take a look at our extended forecast as we head into next week, Martin Luther King Jr. Day this upcoming Monday, no classes. Ask me how happy I am here. 23 degrees will be our high temperature here on Monday before dipping down to 16 degrees on Tuesday as our high temperature, rebounding nicely back into, not nicely, we're still well below average, but rebounding back up to 25 degrees on Wednesday before we get our next chance of wintry weather here on Thursday with some snow showers in the forecast once again. Temperatures sitting at around 24 degrees. And then as we head into Friday, finally getting back to around average, temperatures getting up into the 30s, around 36 degrees as our high. But besides Thursday, pretty much staying dry here. We got mostly cloudy conditions on Monday, partly sunny conditions on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then as we head into Thursday, like I mentioned, will be our snow day. And then as we head into Friday, mostly cloudy conditions. Next up is your Weather Whiz quiz answer.
If you answered A whopping 71 degrees Fahrenheit, well, you'd be correct. That was set all the way back in 1950, and unfortunately, Frank, I don't think we're going to be seeing 71 anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. Our overnight temperature will get down into the single digits, so not even close to the 60s or 70s. We still got a couple months for those.
Well, I know I'll be waiting for those higher temperatures to come back, but until then, thank you for joining us here for another edition of Whether or Not. Make sure to join us again next week. Have a great evening.